Bonjour mon amis, et les Jean, trying a different format style of video to keep my videos consistent. One thing I've noticed recently, that Phil Spencer has recently released a statement. Phil Spencer, for those that don't know, is in charge of the game division of Microsoft, and he recently has said that the idea of fanboys kind of disturbs him. He didn't literally say that, I'm not going to quote, but you know, when it comes to the idea of fanboys, I don't quite understand what the motivation is, at least for people about my age. I'm in my early 20s. The term fanboys usually a word that is tossed around in the mindset of teenage kids, you know, young people that probably can't afford to buy the system for themselves and probably have one of their parents or whatnot. But you know, for somebody like me, when I bought the 360, the last little bit of fanboyism in me kind of died. And the reason why I was against the idea of the PS3 was because at the time there really wasn't much for me to say about the PS3 that I liked. The 360 came out beforehand, I had some hands-on time with it, and I liked it, so I ended up buying it whenever I had the chance. And you know, to this day, ironically, I ended up getting the PS3, but to this day I still stand by how I felt. But that was, what, 6 years ago? I have both a 360 and a PS3 now, and lately I've been really invested in my PS3. But when I think about the people that think that somebody like me, who states my opinion about the recent consoles, mainly the Xbox One, I've bashed it quite a bit, they think that I'm a fanboy for stating my opinion and being strong about that opinion. But more importantly, maybe it's because of the nature of how what I said was said, you know, because I wasn't very nice about it. This is not an apology video at all. I'm never going to make that video. I still stand by my opinion. I mean, yeah, the Xbox One, the way it looks now, it seems like a better purchase, despite the fact that it is still more expensive than the PS4. And the PS4, it just seems like a better purchase to me. It seems like I would have more fun, because the Xbox One, all it's offering is a bunch of gimmicks. There's like a couple of games that I would be willing to buy it for. But sometimes I peruse through my comment sections of various videos of mine out of boredom, and this one recently caught my eyes. It's on my Killer Instinct and Xbox One Sucks rant. Check it out in case you haven't seen it. And I'm just going to read it to you. This guy's name is You're So Wrong. Yeah, so clever. You're So Clever is really what your real name should be. The console wars continue. How sad. Is there a void in your life you feel the need to fill, friend? Have you ever stopped for a moment, sat down, and asked yourself why you feel such a strong need to justify your purchase to face those people on the internet? You know what the word fan... Okay, this guy already automatically thinks I'm a fanboy. Once again, I have both a 360 and a PS3, and I've already stated in future videos afterwards, which this video was made several months ago, that the Xbox One looks like a better purchase now that all the DRM crap has been removed, despite the fact that, just like the PS4, they pretty much have been programmed into the system naturally. They decided for both of these systems to have online DRM from the get-go, and I wouldn't be surprised if Sony changed it at the idea and sight of people being against the idea of that being in the Xbox One right away, despite the fact that in the end you're going to be paying for online services for either system. And right now there's no game on either system that's coming out right now that is exclusive to them that interests me enough to make such a big purchase. You know, I'd rather buy a Vita or 3DS. I mean, call me crazy if you will, but both of those systems have a nice little library of games that I probably would have a little more fun with, especially considering how games are being made now. I remember I was on the phone with a friend yesterday talking about the way the game industry is now, and I've bought a lot of old games lately. Like, most of the games I've bought have been old. The last new game I bought was Lightning Returns, And I'm loving that game, despite the fact that it's Final Fantasy 13 and the storyline wasn't all that strong to start off with. If you can ignore that, which, 13-2 was a great game. If you can ignore that, the game is solid. It's got a good bit of challenge to it. It's a game that demands your full-on attention. I like how expansive each area feels. And it's, you never feel overpowered or bored in the game, at least to me. There's tons of questing to do in areas to explore and whatnot. It definitely promotes exploration, and there is no particular order in which you need to do things. The game kind of just leaves you the choice. But I mean, to put it in further perspective, look what I recently bought. This came in for me in the mail yesterday. Front Mission 4, Factory Sealed. Great game. I played this game, what is it, copyright? 2004, man. That means it's been about 10 years since I played this game, and now I actually have it. Factory Sealed. Damn good deal. And then to put it into further perspective, shit. This ain't an opening video, but I mean, this is just to prove a point. What we got here? Look at that. Nier for the PS3. Oh, it's Factory Sealed. But, the point is that I have no bias towards, even though both of those were PlayStation games, the last 360 game I bought was what? Tales of Vesperia? No, actually no. The last new game I bought, like current, was GTA 5, and now that I think about it, I need to finish that game. So the term fanboy does not apply to me. It never has applied to me, because even whenever the choices for that particular generation of games consoles were into question, and I ended up picking one of them, in the end, I ended up getting all of them, one by one. And it's not this, what I'm saying? It's funny how it's a poetic irony how that ends up being in the case. But, I mean, me as a gamer, I'm going to look for whatever interests me. I don't care what system it's on. I remember playing Mega Man 9 on the Wii, on the original Wii, and the idea of the Wii I was a little turned off by it, but I played Mega Man 9 on there, and then I played Metroid Prime 3 and fucking loved it. Now, I don't have a Wii right now because, I mean, there's a handful of games with a Wii right now that look interesting, and the Wii U has the same thing going for it, most of which of those games have not been released, but I'm not looking to get that system particularly right now. And for the people that have been sending me messages talking about, oh man, the Wii U sucks and you should do a rant about that, let me tell you something. The Wii, really, Nintendo is actually moving quite a bit of units. To me, the Wii U, unfortunately, the way it's being marketed, it doesn't have a bright future ahead of itself, mainly because of the lack of third-party support. The original Wii had a lot of third-party support, but there were a lot of miscellaneous silly games that were, I hate to use this term, casual-oriented, and didn't really have much substance to them other than, oh, well, here's the motion control that we're taking advantage of for the system being its main gimmick. But, I mean, I got a GameCube N64. Hell, my first system was a Super Nintendo. Still have it. Still works. I don't profess myself as a fanboy and of any particular brand. The idea of that is silly. And I remember an old friend he had that mentality about it. He bought a PS3 and was mad whenever I said that the PS3, all it's good for is what it is, what it looks like, a big black mirror. And of course I'm referring to the fat ass original design of the PS3. And like I said, in 2008, 2009, what serious games were out for the PS3 that particularly interested many different demographics, mainly somebody like me? There weren't many, especially the big games that were supposed to be exclusive. Resident Evil 5, Final Fantasy 13, and Devil May Cry 4, all of which they were supposed to be PS3 games, lost their exclusivity. They went into limbo over the dual platform development aspect of it, and some things were dumbed down, and ironically those games were subpar as a result. But that doesn't change the fact that in the end I got a PS3 because I wanted to play Dragon's Crown. I wanted to play Dragon's Crown, and by the time I got Dragon's Crown, many games had come out for the PS3 that interested me. The last game I bought for the PS3, besides Lightning Returns, was Strider, and I know that that's not an exclusive game. Well, actually, no. You just saw what the last PS3 game it was I bought. And once again, this is not an exclusive game. But the rule of thumb with me with the PS3 is that the comfort of the PS3 controller, the DualShock, is a little more comfortable for me as far as action games is concerned. When it comes to fighting games, I don't play on pad, so I play on the 360. I play an arcade stick. I sometimes play on pad, but it's like I don't, for some reason, ever since I really gotten used to the arcade stick, I don't really feel comfortable playing with the pad anymore, unless it's like Super Smash Brothers, and you know, that's because the game was designed to be played on pad. If it's a game that was designed to be played on stick, and I can either benefit from being comfortable from playing on stick, then I'm gonna go with it. It's only for the 360 though, and you know, until I get a dual modded one, that's pretty much how it's gonna be. If it's an action game with good sound, and Nier, I hear, has a damn good soundtrack. I've listened to songs myself, and this is one of the lesser known titles that, you know, fell under the radar for many different people. I've heard good things about it, and I even mentioned in the previous video that this game was what I was probably going to buy next. I'm gonna let you know what I think, and maybe in a future video. But yeah, I got 13 speakers with surround sound and subwoofer and a large screen TV. Who wouldn't be ready to rock a PS3 or a PS4 on that sound system and quality? I mean, yeah, I'm a bit of an audiophile, but can you really blame me? I mean, this kind of defines what my experience will be. I mean, I know I speak for every gamer that whenever we're playing an RPG or an action game where we're getting towards the end of the game, it's almost a tradition for us to turn up the TV. I mean, no matter how crappy the TV is, we turn it up because we are just that into and invested into that game's experience. And unfortunately, I don't see much of that anymore, the way games are being made now. Like the last game I really got invested in, that I enjoyed and adored, was Dragon Quest VIII. That game was hard as hell and took the fun out of living and all hopes and dreams of ever achieving those dreams to be so. But it was a damn good experience. I love the fact that the soundtrack was completely orchestrated as opposed to the European and other international versions. North America in the house, yeah, no, my joke sucked. But yeah, I don't know where the industry looks to be right now, but fanboyism, unfortunately, is part of the reason why some of these industries still exist and are still as prominent as they are now. But at the same time, it's kind of a poison, because like I stated in my last resolution rant video, that if it's gonna be this whole debacle of complaining about the little things like, oh well, the resolution's not good, or you know, and then I'm hearing people complaining about Watch Dogs' resolution being dumbed down, and I've seen it for myself. I'm just like, people, there's not much of a difference in terms of how it appears. As long as the game is solid, who fucking cares? You know, and that's my biggest issue with games like Assassin's Creed 4. Like, I mean, the visuals look great, but this is pretty much the same game, at least to me. It just, I've had enough of Assassin's Creed, so I stopped buying them and stopped concerning myself with it. Hopefully, things will pick up for the industry, and this whole idea of fanboyism, even not just for consoles, but of any kind. You know, you got people that feel that way about trading cards, even down to like the type of soap and toothpaste you wear. I mean, the earliest form of fanboyism I ever experienced was people talking about, oh well, my phone's better. This was long before smartphones really became, well, it was around the time when smartphones began to become prominent in the market, but it was mostly the type of shoes you wear. You know, oh well, J's are better than Air Force One Nikes, and it's like, you know, even when I was in 5th grade, that shit was, I always thought that shit was silly. And now that I'm an older person now, I don't feel much different about that. I think it's fucking silly. But whenever someone states that they don't like something, and not just because it's a different brand than what they own, that doesn't make them a fanboy. It just makes the person that has something against that opinion sad. If they're coming from the standpoint of, oh, well, I love the 360 or I love the Xbox One and the PS4 sucks and all this crap, and it's just like, really? Is this really what we've been dumbed down to, people? Just a bunch of puppet on strings? Because the console wars, per se, they're not real. Those are just phrases to refer to the fact that this is a market of competition. It's a business. That's all it's ever been. That's all it's ever going to be. So in the end, you want to know who wins the war? They do. And with that, I leave you. Au revoir. Merci, mon amis. Too much of my delay.